I heard someone say yesterday that jazz musicians get more opportunities to be creative and artistic than classical musicians who only get to play what's on the page. And that kind of struck a chord with me, no pun intended, because I've dabbled in both, and I really don't think that one of those musical languages offer more artistic freedom than the other, or at least it shouldn't be that way. I usually always bring up the shortcomings of classical music because I see so many problems with the industry of it, but I'm actually going to defend it for once. And when I'm referring to classical music right now, I'm really talking about music that is largely written down as opposed to improvised, such as jazz music, because that was the premise of the conversation I heard yesterday. I have to agree that yes, when you're performing classical music, you're usually given a score, and more often than not, there's going to be notes and rhythms on that score, and you're expected to not really diverge from there. However, I don't think that because you don't get to pick your notes and your rhythms, that there are not other avenues for you to be creative in how you're understanding those notes and rhythms. It can be how you're shaping your phrases, how you're approaching a new section or a new iteration of a melody, the way you're going to bring out some notes more than others, the pedaling decisions that you're making when you're performing that piece. All of these things are very subtle, but they're examples of things a classical performer needs to consider very carefully because they can make the entire difference between an inspired performance and something that falls flat. I've been facing that issue of creativity and artistic license even more recently because the music I'm currently playing and recording has for the most part never been recorded. So I went into this project with no preconceived idea of what this music should sound like. And I can guarantee you that if I only played what's on the paper the way it's written on the paper, it wouldn't sound that great. The score is just a guide or a structure for you to play around with, and the way you understand it is unique to you as a performer. To make a long story short, I really don't think improv over written music is a fair comparison of what is creative or not. And that can easily launch into a whole other conversation about the role of the performer in written music.